One play, first chapter.
Where did you come from, baby? And ooh, won't you take me there? Got away, won't you, baby? Tender roadie, you got to be. Spark my need, just sugar fly with me. Don't you know now is the perfect time? We can make it right in the city lights. In the night, is the love.
Give me a run for my money. There is nobody, no one that'll run me. So give me a run for my money. Sipping bubbly, feeling lovely. Living lovely. Just lovely. I wanna be with you. Hey, I wanna be with you. I wanna be with you. Hey, I wanna be with you. I wanna be with you. Me, just love me. If I didn't rap, play, don't care what you still. If I'm in my
for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
I touch that fire for you. I do that 3 but
that 5 for you. I do that 3, but
Hello, hello, hello. Let me know that y'all can hear me now. This is really getting stressing. I go in here, same, using the same thing, doing the same thing, and 50% of the time, it seems like I'm having issues with audio. Let me know if you guys can hear me now. I don't know what that is because when I go into the system, I try to make an adjustment to the sound. It's the exact same um piece of software. So just like sometimes I go in here to use a screen to show you guys things, same thing happens. I don't know. But anyway, um I guess we're starting over. Damn, we're down to one person because I guess they're probably thinking what the hell is going on, and they didn't tell me what was going on. But anyway, so we're talking about Peyton. We are doing an update of Peyton. We are talking about the hate surrounding her. I'm just doing this video because I've observed that there's a lot of hate going toward her. Because I'm a person who has not watched her for several years, I wouldn't care if I did. Putting that much time and attention into another person that I don't know, I just don't know that. I don't think I could do that. And I don't understand why people feel so compelled to treat her in that manner. Like, it just makes no sense to me. If you don't like a person to the level of trying to sabotage her, lie on her, wish bad on her, why don't you just get the hell away from her? You know what I mean? But anyway, so a lot of people don't like her and don't do um reactions on her because of the copyright issue. I guess she seems to strike a lot of people. Um, I really can't speak on that. Now, if they speak on her daughter or her son, I know she coming for you. I mean, that just is what it is. That's something I have learned. Um, and to her, I do know that it's not personal. I can see that. I don't even have to talk to her to have that recollection, although I have um, heard that she mentioned that. You know what I mean? But anyway, what we know is the last real conversation we had in reference to her, first of all, it started out about that, and then it went on into the striking and the hate from other content creators toward her. Then I got swept up in there. Just because I spoke on somebody, and quite frankly, I'm the type of person. I mean, I turned 18 in basic training. I've spent several years learning that you fight for those who cannot fight for themselves, right? So that's why I started speaking out for her. Not because I knew her, not because I was trying to jump on some bandwagon, not because I was trying to kiss her behind and whatever the things that have been said. Quite frankly, I think the person that was saying those things is very mentally disturbed. And it's obvious that they have mental issues. So we ain't even going to talk about that. But the fact is, I've learned about seeing some of the things she put out. She is not a mommy vlogger. She is a lifestyle vlogger. And for me, I don't really watch a lot of lifestyle content. So I don't watch a whole lot. But if there's something that's worth talking about or watching, I do just that. So I saw something. I did look at a piece of her video. This, first of all, no, we're going to go over here and we're going to discuss what I was saying as far as why I feel people dislike her. So we're going to talk about that first. Just it's not going to be very long, and I'm not going to make this video very long, but we're going to talk about this, and I definitely want you guys to give me your input because other than this, other than I just cannot understand the drama surrounding this woman. Somebody said, "Oh, you don't know the things she did in the past. She used to lie." Okay, so if you really feel that strongly about her and you feel like she was dishonest about stuff, don't watch her. Why do you stay, watch every single thing that she does, talk about her, or not, because I'm not talking to anybody specific. But then you don't like her. If you don't like the content that a person puts out, if you feel like they are immoral, dishonest, or whatever, why not just leave them alone and don't talk about them? But anyway, I saw this and I felt like this is no, I'm gonna tell you how I found this video. I googled why do you guys not like Peyton Charles, and this is the video that came up. Let me know if you agree with what this woman is saying. Right up on the screen and go right into it.
Uploaded a video, basically having a little TED talk about Peyton Marie Charles and her being 42 and pregnant with twins, blah 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 blah. So this is my thing with y'all, and I'm referring to you low budget females, low budget, low morals, low values, low integrity, just all around low vibrational, okay? Because why do you have the time? Why do you have the feelings that you have towards this woman? Like, no lie, Peyton, whatever you are doing, you keep doing you, okay? Because apparently you have so many women bothered by you just living your life, right? This woman is literally living her life unapologetically, authentically, and blogging it, right? It is one thing that I love about her authenticity. We don't have a lot of YouTubers or content creators, influencers, whatever the case. We don't have a lot of those women that are authentic. Yeah, we have some amazing influencers that I love and I enjoy watching. But let's be real, they don't show us certain parts of their lives.
Now, let me know that you guys are seeing everything okay, because this screen I've also had trouble with today. Let me make sure real quick that everything is cool. Y'all, child, like, I just had issue with audio. Now, earlier I had issue with video. I just want to make sure that all is well because, I wasn't trying to drag this out. Okay, so I do see that the screen is working, and I'm so glad for that. Now she says that she said the same thing that I'm saying, but I'm saying it in a different way. People are very bothered by this woman that's living her life. Okay, a woman mentioned that, oh, she did things in the past as far as she wasn't being honest. Let's say that's the truth, right? I don't see where that is necessarily. First of all, I'm not sure how that affects her content, but this person felt, strongly about it and they mentioned it, right? So that's that on that. Um I feel like when I look at her and I look at her life as just a woman, one woman looking at another woman, I'm looking at, first of all, I started looking at her because it's like, trying to crack the code. What is it that has everyone in an uproar about this woman? So that was the first thing. I didn't just find her, she came into my timeline and I started watching her. You know what I mean? She came into my site by something that happened in her life. And so people started talking about it that I frequent. So then she started showing up in my timeline, then the striking crap. So hey love, not much. Just talking. We're doing a talk about Peyton Charles. We're doing a quick update about Peyton. And I have been talking about the hate that she gets, and I brought it up for a reason. I brought the hate up because I noticed so many people devalued her relationship. They felt like she shouldn't have been with the guy, which you can't tell nobody who to date. We're here to absorb the content. We watch it or not. We like it or not. If we stop liking it, we stop watching, right? That, and as far as a commentary channel, you come there, you watch what's there, you talk about it. If you feel that something is not truthful, you look for context clues and you try to find the truth in the story. Or you go get the truth in the story, you talk about it, but either way, you go on about your business, right? But just like Olivia and all of the drama that surrounds Olivia, she gets more views than the rest of these women. A lot of the women that's in her little clique, um, but a lot of people don't like her. And I noticed that on the other extreme of that is Peyton. People look at her, she gets a lot of views, she has a lot of people that love her, she's very good at parasocial relationships, but then apparently that brings out the crazies. I just happen to talk about her and oh my god, then I get brought into it, I get stalked. And it's interesting, the same people who talk about Peyton and talk about Peyton striking people do the exact same thing Peyton does. They strike people. Within the last 14 days I've been struck. I didn't talk about it because it really wasn't nothing to talk about. It, hell, that's the fastest strike I've gotten off my channel. But the thing about it is this: um, I've been struck because of me talking about her, not because I have a relationship with her, but just because I've talked about her. I've been hated just because I talked about her, not only directly but even indirectly. I even have a people talking about me over there on LSA. Hell, I don't really go over there, and I don't even have a reason for them to talk about me, but just because they don't like Peyton and I have had a conversation and I haven't dogged her, basically I ain't shit either, apparently. I just think it's crazy. I think it's crazy because we literally sat here and um anti hyena put out a video last week talking about another content creator. A part of that video was the lady's husband saying that she has this very weird parasocial relationship talking about Peyton. She's got pictures of Peyton on her wall. But this woman, he out of his own mouth called her very dangerous. And I took that to mean mentally dangerous because she exudes that. And moving forward, he even mentioned how she was at one point a daycare uh, provider, whether it was her business or not sure, don't really give a damn. But she was mean to kids. We just gonna leave it there. And it's just interesting that this very woman was talking about Peyton and her parenting. And it's like, wow, how did Peyton become a deadbeat mom just because you don't like her? I've never heard anybody talk about her parenting. You know what I mean? Nor have I heard anybody having so much disdain for me, but just because I've talked about this lady, this is what happened. I've heard a lot of people talk about the guy saying that Peyton was some kind of sideline woman and that the husband, I mean, the boyfriend or baby daddy or whatever the hell he is, didn't want the child and wanted nothing to do with the child. So there was some video put out that I'm going to show you guys to show that that's not true.
They keep those parts private, and for good reason. I see exactly why. But on the flip side, what I love about Peyton is she is authentic. She is herself.
Now tell me, those of you who know more about her than I definitely want to hear that you agree or don't agree. I'm still learning her. I'm seeing some of the things that happen. I can kind of figure out certain things. I can't speak to her authentic self. I can just say that it's clear that she has a lot of money at her disposal, and it's very clear that her spending as freely as she spends, and the fact that she has her entire life to sit around and do what she want to do and spend her damn money, people are very uncomfortable with that. And I feel like it brings out a insecurity in them that they feel less than, and so because they can't be on her level, they dislike her. That is what I am seeing. Me personally, as I looked at her, the thing that I think about the most is this is a woman who got out of the military. She was just like me. Now, maybe her expertise was different, but I'm ex military, she's ex military. I had a business at one point. She has had a business at one point, but my business didn't do what her business did. So, me being the person I am, always looking to educate myself out of a situation, I'm like, damn, what can I learn over here? You know what I'm saying? What can I see that maybe the next situation I do in a way that it gives me the same benefit that she got? For the most part, what I've seen, I can agree. She talked about things that most people probably wouldn't. So you mean that she was over honest and that she shared a lot. So she was very open because it seems like she says she don't gatekeep. That's what people say when they're saying that they don't keep things. Is that what you mean?
Is she okay? That's what I admire about her. You get the real. And let's be honest. The dating pool out here, we know how it is dating out here. Like, let's be completely honest. Pickings is slim, okay? So the true authenticity, blah blah blah.
Girl, move
The
on,
true
Ryan.
and the real is that you're gonna date, and it may not work out with that person that you're dating currently. So you move on to the next person. That's just how dating works, right? So you
And why did people get so angry because of who she dated? Because he didn't make the same that she did. Um, okay. Now, do you guys agree that if you don't like someone, you just stop watching them and you move on? Or the overzealous way that people judge her, does that make sense to you guys? Because, I have to check. I sometimes try to check and balance myself to make sure I'm not being too um get into where I'm being judgmental as well. Because I mean, just like you can judge a person that you're doing content on, you can also judge their audience. So it seems like the audience of people that she has come from all economic backgrounds, and it seems like the people that really dislike her, they don't say, "Oh, I dislike her because she did this to this person, or she did this situation, or she whatever." All I ever hear is that she spends. All she do is spend money. She throws her money around. To me, that's something you say when you're mad you can't do it. Because why would you give a crap about them throwing their money around? I mean, shit. Uh, get your money up and do the same thing if it's that deep to you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just trying to understand out here. I'm trying to understand the people.
You really think that this woman is not going to date? That's the real. Let's be real. We all date. That's what we're supposed to do.
It's
How
like,
are you
what was
going to find that person or your person if you don't date? Okay? So she's literally dating, and we're seeing that. That's the problem. The problem is we're seeing someone date. How does that sound? Stupid. Stupid. Because
we seeing Gina Janine date, and yes, it's a lot of conversation behind her dating the man that she chose, the relationship that she's showing. People have a lot to say. I get that, but they're either laughing at her or laughing with her. But I've not heard them question her parenting because she's dating someone they don't like. And it's like, who are you to decide who she's supposed to date or not? I even heard somebody saying that man don't want her, he don't want the baby. And it's like, damn, did y'all talk to him? Did he say that? Because I just thought it was crazy. Now we're gonna jump to a different video. We got the point of what she's trying to say. We're gonna jump over here, and this is something that I saw in her last video. We're not gonna play much of it, but with it, it just was interesting for us to see this. And it's like she's just a woman, just us. I don't understand why they have a different expectation of this woman, or why everything. Yes, a lot goes good for her because she has the financial wherewithal to make things go better for her. Okay, got it. Um, but hold on, trying to make sure I got the right setup. Um, but that doesn't mean everything goes perfect, and it seems that she shows her life. Now my understanding is at first she had a regular job before she really got on social media, and that she started her social media um, channel around COVID, which a lot of people had a lot of success during that time, right? So she's out here, she's showing all her business. Some things are going very good, some things not so much. Whatever the case is, it kind of is what it is, and this is what we have. She came out here, told everybody she was with a guy, he cheated, and then all hell broke loose. And everything that has happened in her life since then, it seems like people are critical and says it's almost like it's her fault. And I'm just not getting how you getting cheated on is your fault. Him messing with somebody who is, I don't know what to say about the teacher situation because it's weird to me. But this whole thing just seems crazy. Whatever the point is, it really don't matter because it's in the past. But I want to show you guys this. Wait a minute. I thought I pressed right. Now, another thing that's happened, and I didn't want to play this part, I was just trying to play where we were. But another thing is the fact that people are questioning her parenting. Can you guys tell me how you feel about that? Because I haven't seen her do anything. I don't see any Jasmine behavior from her. I don't see any, and it's crazy. When we get to talking about parents that don't do the best, we always go to Jasmine, Sky. It's one more that's a frequent flyer in that situation, but definitely them two. I haven't seen anything that would make you think that. Now, I sure we can all ask questions about certain things when it comes to that, but if it's not a part of my particular uh reaction, like if I'm not talking about her and her kids, I'm not gonna ask questions about her and her kids.
So we got some new packages in. I am getting ready to change those bookshelves upstairs in the content room to a wooden, like, I think it's like a natural oak wood. And it's like these arch bookshelves. It's so cute.
Now I am gonna say this, because y'all know I'll be honest about stuff. I live for the day that I can just go live on a video and just spend money. Baby, that is, honey, that is top tier for me. That I can live out the rest of my life, travel, do what the hell I want to do as far as traveling is concerned. I do not have children in my home. So I don't have to worry about kids. I get to go see my grandkids whenever I want and spend damn money. Baby, I don't hate on nobody that got that lifestyle. Quite frankly, they're my inspiration. And I'm not really speaking about her directly. I'm being funny, y'all, but I hope y'all get my point.
And I want to put natural oak doors on the IKEA packs that I have, so I do need to rearrange those so the doors can fit. I actually have some stuff in my cart from IKEA because they added a new pack shelving that can fit in that little space. I have a gap at the end, so we're gonna be redoing our content room soon. I'm gonna get a new desk, so I'm probably going to donate that desk that I have upstairs. Then we got some new stuff for Legend, for him hitting his 6-month milestone, because technically he is 6 months, because his due date was in February. So he is not on the 9-month milestone marker. He is on the 6-month milestone because he was 3 months premature. 9 minus 6.
And that is how that works. When you have a NICU baby, when they graduate from NICU, that's basically birth for them. All the time that they spend in NICU, they are technically still in utero. So that's how they measure the milestones for those babies. So yeah.
Was 3. Get it? We just got some new stuff for him hitting his 6-month milestone from Love Every. So I'll be putting that in his playpen, and I did get a few other things too. We do got this new Around We Grow. I bought this off of Amazon, so I need to put that together. Hunter, his cousin, that's Heaven's son. Hunter has the same thing, and I saw Heaven posted on her Instagram story, so I bought it for Legend. Now, Hunter is 9 months, but Hunter is only a week older than Legend, because they're a week apart. But Hunter is actually 9 months. We do still have to take Karen's new mattress up to her room and put that together. And what else did I get? It looks like I got some other stuff. I just be ordering shit and forgetting what I order.
Baby, I live for that. I live for the day that I can just order shit and forget what the hell I done ordered. Because I got to know every damn thing I ordered, what I paid, where I paid from, and make sure that I can pay the bill. Or if I did do cash, make sure that I have that checkbook squared away. I mean, that's what I got to do in my life. But I don't hate the fact that she can do something different. I mean, her life took her in a different direction, and shit, I don't hate on women.
I'm about to get dressed, put some clothes on, and we are about to go see his dad. His dad wants him to come up to his school, and I guess he want to show him outside because he said the teacher's been asking about legend, and I'm like, oh, I just popped my neck. Ow. Preston, you've been going.
I heard that. Now, when I heard that, I thought of two scenarios. One scenario is the fact that they could be still trying to work on, the together part of the relationship. And because they are working on that, she rolling her eyes like, who's, because we be like that as women. Let's be honest. Who is this woman trying to see my damn baby? And it could be a situation like that, or it could be, totally opposite. It could just be, it could just be, she don't like his ass and she don't really want, him showing the baby, but that's his baby too. So I just don't understand why people be so in their damn feelings about what the hell she got going on. And it's almost like it's their relationship. It's just crazy. And I've seen and even heard people make the comments of, if she doesn't act the way they expect her to or want her to, I mean, they just talk about her so negative. I'm talking about this with her only because she's the only person I've seen that has been handled in this way, y'all. So I'm not trying to take a lot of people think that just because I don't dog her out, that I'm, trying to kiss her butt or whatever. Y'all have heard the sayings. If y'all, watch other people that talk about Peyton, I'm sure you've heard things like this. So, I just talk about the situation and I talk about what's happening. I don't really get overly interested or connected to the person, other than looking at the situation and trying to see what I can learn from it, something positive I can take away from it. But anyway, she's saying that the dad wants the baby to come to the school.
You've been coming in here going in my stutter. You've been coming in here going in my garbage can, and your nose turning pink. Leave stuff alone. Leave stuff alone. Cause why is this out in the living room chewed up? Huh? 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 Stay out of my garbage can now. I ain't playing with you. Today's fragrance we're going to put on vanilla powder. This is the Ish Stripe. Rockin' the sock.
Baby, when I grow up, I'm gonna learn the aesthetic of how people take two fragrances and mix them together. Cause hell, before this whole conversation around her, never saw anybody do that. They put on their faves and they go on about their business. I've never seen people mix fragrances. I'm very interested in that because I'm interested in learning, you know, how that works together. Like, does it change the entire smell, or do you just have different whiffs at different times? You know what I'm saying?
Raw's daughter. I usually do 2 scent combos. I very rarely layer 3 scent combos unless I'm layering it with heavy, medium, light. Like I wouldn't do like 3 heavies, or you know what I'm saying, or 3 lights. I might do 3 lights. 3 lights is doable, but 3 heavies, Cause my nose, the way my nose set up, like I get a headache. So those 2 scents are, I would say, is 2 mediums. Cause the dry downs are very subtle and like very gorgeous, but I don't feel like you get like crazy projection with either of those. Vanilla powder is very distinct though, like, and the straight version is really good. It's really good. But I feel like those two as far as projection, still very medium. Very noticeable though. Like I can tell when somebody has on vanilla powder. When you come around me, I'm like, you got on vanilla powder. Very, very similar to Baccarat. Baccarat is not a heavy projection, but I could tell when somebody got it on. Okay, outfit of the day, something really simple. This dress is actually from Fashion Nova. And then I'm just wearing my Gucci bag with my Gucci slides. Yeah, and I'm probably gonna put some sunglasses on, but they're in my car, so yeah. Cute look. Okay, today's scent combo. Yeah, we not doing it no more. Maybe I sprayed it on too much. I don't know, but I got a headache. I done had a headache since this morning. I thought it was a hungry headache, but I've eaten. So, and it didn't go away. So, yeah, I don't think we're gonna do that combo no more. And that's what happens when I wear 3 perfumes. I get a scent headache, a scent migraine. That's what I call it. But today I only put on 2, but still, like I went a little overboard with vanilla powder. I didn't spray as much as Bois away, but I went overboard with vanilla powder for sure.
So I just wanted us to see that she mentioned taking her child to the school so that he can show his son off. Apparently, he's proud of his son. Now, in the past, I wanted to, but I never got around to it, doing a reaction to her showing off her son's his I keep hitting the wrong thing. That's what it is. She was showing off the nursery, doing a reveal, and I did watch it, and I thought it was adorable, the theming and the way she put everything together. Now she didn't apparently pay anybody to do that. My daughter likes doing things like that. I'm not really, although I love a well put together and aesthetically pleasing home, but I am not into decorating. I'm just not. I love how I look when it's done, but I'm the type of person that would probably hire somebody because um I'm just so I'm not good at making decisions, and that would be a nightmare for me just trying to put all of that together. But whatever the case is, I wanted you guys to see that because she did mention that, dad cared enough to want his kids or his co-workers or whatnot to see the babies, and not, I mean, his baby. And not only that, I'm sure the kids also, especially if he has certain students that he's taught for a couple of years, they probably wanted to see his child as well. When my daughter is a teacher, when she was making her babies, people were into that. They wanted to see her kid. They wanted to know her kid. She's a coach also, so they wanted to share in the child's life. My grandkids know several of the kids that she's coached, as well as that's she's taught. So, that's just a part of the process. So I didn't see it as abnormal. And I know people mentioned that somebody said today that they didn't believe what she said. And I'm like, now this lady came on here and told us that she made over $10,000 off of a video that she was talking about fragrances, because that's her thing. That's her zhuzh. That's what she do. Why would she lie about something as simple as taking her child to um, a school? And let me say this: I have been very upfront that I don't know everything about her, and I have not been watching her for long. So I'm going just based off of general knowledge, not, you know, that I know her so well that I just know this, that, and the third. So I'm gonna be honest about that. I mean, maybe they know something I don't know. I'm just being diplomatic and talking about it generally. Now let's switch over, and we're going to talk a little bit about the case that was adjudicated already. Um, there have been some additional documentation filed in reference to this case, right? Um, both women won. Both women got a small amount of money, $1. Um, We discussed that. We discussed the case. We also discussed that she felt that she definitely was not vindicated. She felt that she was harassed. She felt that, the things that happened at a time that she was vulnerable. So for that reason also, she was very angry about what happened. So she did not feel like she got what she should have gotten out of that situation, that she should have been compensated. Now I'm gonna say this. I told you guys, if it was me, I probably wouldn't have filed. I would have probably ignored the girl or whatever. But that wasn't my situation. So it's easy for me to sit out on the outside and say what I said. Now, let me go over to a situation that was my situation. I dealt with a woman who is mentally ill. I feel this is my personal opinion, and she started messaging me and all kind of stuff like that, and it was very weird, very off-putting, and I didn't like it. I also felt at that time that I shouldn't have to deal with this shit. So I'm going to take the steps needed. Now, I didn't file no lawsuit or nothing like that, but I did take certain steps. My situation um, didn't go like her situation. But the point of me bringing that up is it's easy to be on the outside of something and tell up another person what they should do. Just like I said that if that was me and it was my court case, would I appeal it? I said that I would not. Again, not my situation, because had the tables turned and I ended up in some type of court battle with someone who did to me what this lady did to me, I think I may have pushed a little more. I don't know that I would have appealed the decision, because at that point I would hope that the person learned enough that they would just leave me the F alone and it wouldn't be necessary. But that just taught me a lesson that it's easy for me to sit up here and say what I wouldn't do, but it's easy to say you wouldn't do it if it's not you. So that's a lesson that I did learn. But I still stand behind what I said. If it was me, I don't think that I would have appealed unless no, I know in that with that, I don't think I would have. Now let's jump over here. This was put up on social media at least a month ago, right? And with this, they people whoever put this up, I don't know whose page this is. I have an idea whose page it is. And I think that once a lot of you see this, you're going to have an idea. But we gonna leave that there. Whatever the case is, the information is the information is the information, and that's what with this. I feel like this is people trying to make light of the whole triangle thing with her, the teacher, and the man. Now, this lady in this image is the teacher that she had the conflict with, that she ended up in court with. I know a lot of people haven't seen her, but this is the teacher, and this was put out here, so we gonna consume the content. It's on social media. They're saying, will the lawsuit that Peyton filed against Teacher Bay be dismissed? It was put up in February, actually, so this was well over a month ago. But um, about 6 months ago, so I definitely know who page this is. Anyway, um, we all know that it was not dismissed; that it went through, and both of them basically won and lost at the same time. So I guess the point is showing documentation of what happened. Another reason I feel like this page is just out here, and no one put a name on the page, no one is talking on the page, is because someone was trying to be covert. and put the information out and not have it come back to them, because they're actually putting out pictures, and they are actually putting out not only the pictures of the people involved, but they were also putting out information that came through the case. So right here, this is 10 days ago, someone took their voice and created this. This is so interesting. Now let's try to make it a little bigger. Let me see if I can make it a little bigger. So, oh shoot, hold on. I guess I can't. I was trying to make it, let's see. Maybe let's see if that makes it any bigger. Hold on, let me move over here. Okay, so with this is the paperwork that has been filed since the disposition of the lawsuit that Peyton had on the teacher. So let's go ahead and play it.
In the county court plaintiff at law number VV, redacted, Dallas County, Texas defendant. Plaintiff's verified motion to recuse Judge Diane K. Jones. To the Honorable Presiding Administrative Judge, plaintiff and counter-defendant redacted, appearing pro se, respectfully files this verified motion to recuse Judge Deanna K. Jones pursuant to Texas Rule of Civil Procedure 18A and the Texas Code of Judicial Conduct. In support thereof, plaintiff respectfully shows that Judge Jones's impartiality has been completely compromised by an extrajudicial, deep-seated gendered bias, rendering her incapable of administering fair and neutral trial. First grounds for recusal. 1. Under Texas law, judge must be recused if her impartiality might reasonably be questioned, or if she harbors personal bias or prejudice concerning party. Tex. R. Civ. P18B. While judicial rulings alone rarely trigger recusal, judges' statements and conduct during proceeding require recusal when they reveal such high degree of favoritism or antagonism as to make fair judgment impossible. During the 6-hour trial on July 2, 2026, Judge Jones repeatedly minimized and dismissed plaintiff's civil conspiracy, civil assault by threat, and abuse of process claims by explicitly and verbally stating on the record.
Now, y'all look at this document here. Now, I'm going to allow the AI reading to continue. I am going to allow it to continue, but it was interesting because right here, there's a redaction done toward the bottom of the page, and it says bandwagon maggot. Where have y'all heard that at? I'm gonna let y'all think about it while we continue to listen.
That this multi-layered civil lawsuit was merely overman. 3. The dismissive gender bias and age bias labeling blinded the court to the objective evidence and elements of the law. Judge Jones's bias manifested in extreme, systematic procedural irregularities that favored the defendant and stripped plaintiff of basic constitutional due process, including violation of TRCP 63 surprise, allowing the defendant to amend her entire counterclaim on the eve of trial over plaintiff's formal written and verbal objections, completely altering the scope of the litigation. Greenhow v. Service Lloyd's Insurance Company. The Supreme Court held that trial court has no discretion to refuse late amendment unless the opposing party presents evidence of surprise or prejudice, or the amendment asserts new cause of action or defense and the opposing party specifically objects to it. The defendant asserted 2 new cause of actions 10 days before trial, after plaintiff filed her witness list alleging plaintiff and witness redacted were conspiring against her. Violation of Title 102, overruling plaintiff's absolute statutory objection to telemedicine doctor's note that was filed less than 48 hours before trial, nearly 2 weeks past the mandatory 14-day rule. In Brown v. State, Court of Criminal Appeals of Texas and the appellate, courts consistently uphold that the 14-day filing requirement is mandatory to prevent surprise, and judge abuses their discretion by bypassing it without showing of good cause. Failure to exercise discretion, Judge Jones explicitly and repeatedly stated on the record at trial, and at the previous June 18, 2026 hearing on plaintiff's motion to sanction defendant, that she does not read the pleadings filed in the record. This open refusal to review the parties' formal legal filings constitutes prima facie violation of Texas Code of Judicial Conduct Canon 3, proving the court reached its judgment via preconceived bias rather than an evaluation of the actual litigated record. Unconstitutional curtailment of cross-examination. After permitting the defendant to give over 2 hours of unchecked narrative testimony, Judge Jones systematically and frequently interrupted plaintiff's cross-examination of the defendant. The court arbitrarily cut plaintiff's cross-examination short, directly violating plaintiff's fundamental due process right to confront and impeach opposing witnesses. Abrupt termination of trial and closing argument. Before rendering her arbitrary verbal judgment, Judge Jones refused to allow either party to present closing argument. Refusing litigant the opportunity to present summation of the evidence before rendering judgment is an absolute deprivation of the right to counsel and the right to be heard under the Texas Constitution. Judge Jones abruptly terminated the trial by stating, "We're done," and immediately rendering her verbal judgment. By ending the trial in this manner, the court entirely bypassed the closing argument phase, completely denying both parties their constitutional right to present summation of the evidence before final ruling was made. Manifest misapplication of evidentiary law. Over plaintiff's explicit hearsay objection, Judge Jones admitted an online police report drafted entirely by the defendant. In doing so, the court stated on the record that police reports aren't hearsay in civil court. This disregard for Texas Rules of Evidence 801 and 802 demonstrates severe lack of objective neutrality. Second conclusion and mandatory TRCP 18 of freezing rule. Pursuant to TRCP 18A, upon the filing of this motion, Judge Jones must take no further action in this case other than signing an order of recusal or referring this motion to the regional presiding judge within 3 business days. Prayer, plaintiff respectfully requests that this motion to recuse be granted, or alternatively that new trial be ordered before neutral and detached judge.
So that was the first document that was submitted, and 9 days ago we have another one. We're going to go ahead and listen to that as well. This is the after effect again of the trial that Peyton had with the teacher who did whatever. The case had so many moving parts that I don't even really. One person said the other person did the same thing. It seems like I'm just gonna say it like that because I don't remember. I'm just gonna be honest. It's been a little while ago, and I don't remember all of the details of the case, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. Let's jump back over here and go to the other document.
Redacted. Redacted DB at Peyton Charles. Plaintiff counter defendant. Fifth redacted. Defendant counter plaintiff. In the county court at Law No. Dallas County, Texas. Opposition to motion for new trial and recusal. To the Honorable Presiding Administrative Judge and the Judge of...
So I'm assuming that this document here would have been presented by the defendant saying that she opposes a new trial and recusal. So the first one would have been Peyton requesting that the judge be recused and that there's a new trial, and this would be the teacher saying that she doesn't want that. So let's go.
Said court comes now redacted, defendant and counterplaintiff in the above styled and numbered cause, appearing pro se, and files this response in opposition to redacted Peyton motion for new trial and motion to recuse pursuant to Texas Rule of Civil Procedure 18A, respectfully showing the court as follows. First, introduction and summary. Finality of judgment. Following comprehensive bench trial on July 2nd, 2026, this court entered final judgment on July 7th, 2026, cleanly disposing of all claims and parties on their merits. Plaintiff's meritless posturing. Plaintiff now seeks to set aside the final verdict and recuse Judge Jones based entirely on subjective dissatisfaction with standard courtroom pacing and evidentiary adjustments.
Now tell me what y'all think about that. How do you guys feel about the whole, for what you know of this case, for what you know of the situation? We've seen what was it called? After the receipts. We've seen, what Peyton has talked about and what others have made available to us and talked about this case. From what you know, do you feel like everything was heard fairly? Do you feel that one or the other should have won? Like, give me your opinion on the case. Let's continue.
Bad faith tactics. Plaintiff's motions represent bad faith extension of an extrajudicial campaign to dox public school educators, manipulate digital platforms, and ignore the finality of judicial decisions.
Now, how does her feeling that she has a right to be heard fairly in court show that she wants public educators doxxed? Because let's be clear, Peyton hasn't put out a name or a face. The only people who have put out information about the teacher is the people who covered the case. Now, that's myself included, but I didn't dox her. I didn't put out anything that wasn't already online. Actually, the first time I publicly showed the teacher on social media was just a few minutes ago from this website, Love Jones Reacts. This page was created back around the February time. And I know why it was created. I feel that I know who created it, but I'm gonna leave all of that off of this. But the bottom line is, whatever was out there, most of the information that's been made available about this case came from one person. Even though they may have gotten it from the court documents or people that was involved with the case, it still came primarily from one person.
Plaintiff identifies no facts showing personal bias, prejudice, or any other circumstance that would cause reasonable person to question the court's impartiality. Instead, plaintiff's complaints arise from the court's management of the proceeding, evidentiary determinations of, and rulings made during trial. Disagreement with those judicial actions does not transform them into valid basis for recusal or new trial. EL, argument and authorities. A, the strict legal standard for recusal is not met. The impartiality presumption under Texas law, a trial judge is strongly presumed to be impartial, and the moving party bears heavy burden to overcome this presumption. In Re MCM 642 SW 607, rulings are not biased. The Supreme Court of Texas has long held that judges' ordinary courtroom administration, time restrictions, or expressions of impatience do not constitute valid grounds for recusal. Likey v. United States, 510 U.S. 540. Dow Chemical Company v. Francis, 46 SW 200 admonishments. Plaintively ignored direct admonishments from the bench to cease public commentary regarding ongoing litigation. From plaintiff and her out-of-state associates contentive court records online to target defendant. Attacking the judiciary, having failed to secure her desired outcome at trial, plaintiff is weaponizing the recusal process to publicly disparage the competence of the judiciary simply because the court properly understood the true nature and context of this dispute. B, motion for new trial cannot be used to relitigate sound judicial discretion motion. For new trial is not mechanism for an unhappy litigant to force total retrial over routine discretionary rulings regarding unauthenticated medical notes or hearsay police reports. Plaintiff has not identified material error that prevented her from presenting her case or that probably caused an improper judgment. The court heard plaintiff's testimony, allowed her to present witnesses and exhibits, and extended the trial beyond its original scheduled time. Plaintiff's dissatisfaction with how the court allocated time, evaluated evidence, or ruled on objections is not basis to retry the entire case. Monopolizing courtroom time, plaintiff complains regarding trial restrictions, yet the record reflects that the trial extended significantly beyond its scheduled time frame, solely because plaintiff monopolized the timeline with redundant cross-examinations. Streamlined adjudication, defendant presented focus, streamlined defense relying on direct, credible testimony, which provided the court with an entirely sufficient basis to render fair and balanced final judgment. C, continued extrajudicial conduct, harassment, and false platform accusations. Plaintiff's continued extrajudicial conduct is included not to relitigate collateral disputes, but because it provides context for the present motions. That conduct demonstrates that plaintiff's recusal request arises from dissatisfaction with the judgment and an ongoing effort to publicly attack defendant, third parties, and the court, rather than from any objectively reasonable basis to question the court's fairness or impartiality. The conspiracy theory. Since the trial concluded, plaintiff has developed an obsessive fixation claiming that defendant is secretly behind independent online documentary and reaction channels, such as the outlet After the Receipts. Targeting third parties. Based entirely on this false narrative, plaintiff has aggressively targeted these independent content creators, threatening them and filing fraudulent copyright and privacy complaints to systematically strike down third-party platforms for simply discussing the public facts of her trial loss. Of legal privacy. Plaintiff's pattern of harassment extended to making unauthorized, intrusive inbound calls to defendants treating medical providers in bad faith attempt to probe confidential patient health records. Educational disruption. This fixated behavior highlights that plaintiff's filings are an extension of vindictive harassment campaign designed to leave defendant no peace as new public school year commences. IL, prayer wherefore. Premises considered, defendant redacted respectfully requests that the regional presiding judge and this court deny plaintiff's motion to recuse and motion for new trial in all things. Find that plaintiff has not established grounds for recusal or new trial. Uphold the final judgment entered on July 7th, 2026, and grant defendant all further relief to which she may be justly entitled. Respectfully submitted.
So those are the documents that have been made available thus far. I will start watching this case online, and any other information, we definitely will make it available and talk about it. But like I said, I just wanted to do this video to discuss the update, for one, of what's going on, and to get you guys input on how you felt about how things have been represented as far as people's bias, clear bias toward Peyton. Now, like I said, first came out stating that I didn't like the fact that Mimi received a copyright strike. I didn't feel it was just, for several reasons, and I mean, that is what it is. but I am gonna say this. Everything I've said I stood by. But one thing that I have understood just like I just told you guys, I had a situation because it was personally my situation, just like with Mimi. Although I'm not Mimi, I guess I would say she's my friend. So that felt personal. You know what I mean? So I felt how I felt. Now I still stand by that because of the nature of copyright and the nature of fair use. I know how to use it. I know, the details of that. So that's that on that. But what I do understand when it comes to legal situations, when it comes to personal harassment and things like that, until you have walked through that, I now see that you can have a different outlook. Um, I still don't think, me personally, if I had experienced what she experienced, I don't know that I would necessarily have done it the way she did it, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't have done something. I think that's the best way to close this out because, like I said, when I looked at her situation, I understood where she was coming from, but I felt differently about how she handled it. When it came to my situation, I didn't handle it how she handled it, but I did do something. So I'm going to close this video out by saying that and concluding it there. I really want you guys to give me your input. I don't understand how people will sit here and band together to hate a woman just because maybe she makes them feel a ways about themselves, but they will support a woman who maybe has been less than stellar to a child just because they have hate for someone else. I don't get that. Maybe you guys can give me more insight if you guys see the point or see what it is, because um I just see this whole thing as a clusterfuck of bullshit. That's a word I learned in the military, and it's just a masterpiece of minimalism, a whole bunch of crazy situations. And I don't understand the people who can focus that deep on another person's life. That really shows that you don't have anything going for yourself, in my opinion, and that person makes you feel so insignificant that all you can do is fill yourself with what they have going on. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you guys tonight. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative. I hope that it was something that you can definitely give me some feedback on. I thank y'all so much for tuning in, and I will definitely see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Keep it 100, I'd rather you trust me than to keep it on.